All right, let's get it started. Making his very first top 10 from Richmond, Virginia, the barrister Edward Lochren III. Ed Lochren had 57 pounds even to start the day. Needs 213 to take the lead. I believe I saw him catch 213 this morning, so I know he's got more than that. 5 fish for Ed Lochren, 19 pounds and an ounce with 76.1. We have a brand new leader with Ed Lochren III. Ed Lochren, his first Bassmaster Elite Series top 10. I'm going to weigh that one for Phoenix Boats Big Bass, and since it's the first one we weighed today, it will definitely take that lead over. 4 pounds, 6 ounces, and Ed, you know, what a peculiar day out there, really. When I saw you first thing this morning, it was downright snotty where you were fishing, and then it seemed to lay a little bit. How did your bite go through the day?
Yeah, after you left and it calmed down, it got really calm. And I went over and hit a little ridge that I hadn't hit all week, and I caught a 4 and a 3.5, and I got right real quick. So it was a great day. I mean, coming back was a little rough, but other than that, you know, you take your time and everything's fine.
A great tournament, and obviously on a final day like this, just to get back here safe is the goal. But you have so many great companies that help you get here. Talk to me about them.
Yeah, this week, you know, I used a number of different soft plastics, caught a few key fish on a missile baits bomb shot in goby bite color. I always use it up here. It's a good color. Had a key fish on a chatterbait with a shockwave, missile bait shockwave on the back. My Shimano, all the equipment lasted this week and lasted today especially. That's amazing, the abuse that we put this stuff through. So my Humminbird electronics all stayed in good shape. My motor and boat, the Basscat powered by Mercury, made it back without a problem. Shimano rods and reels, they got every one of the boat. I didn't literally lose a fish all week.
Started with 85 and only 10 went out today, so you did something that 75 guys couldn't do. What put you here specifically? What was it this time around, do you think?
I think it was the Bassmaster Opens that I fished here. You know, I fished 3 or 4 of them over the years, and interestingly, the last one I fished, I bombed the first day. I lost a number of fish, and I thought that took me out of contentions for making the elites that year. And the next day I bounced back, and so just like at Thousand Islands, where I had a difficult tournament last year finishing last, and I redeemed myself this year by making the cut, this year making this is terrific, and it's kind of a little redemption from that tournament a couple years back.
I'm happy to have you here, and I'm happy to let you know you're going to load our hot seat. Our brand new tournament leader, Ed Lochren. The longer you stay there, the more you get paid. But this next guy knows all about that because he is a 2-time Bassmaster Elite Series champion from Aiken, South Carolina, the Tower of Power, Jason Williamson. Jay Willie looked like he had a good day today. Had 57 pounds, 4 ounces. Needs 18.14 to take the lead away from Ed Lochren. Looking for 18 pounds, 14 ounces. 19.7 with 76 pounds and 11 ounces. Jason Williamson is leading here at Lake Champlain. With that, we say goodbye to Ed Lochren, and we say hello to Jay Willie, a 2-time Bassmaster Elite Series champion, and the Tower of Power went to work today. Going to weigh that for Phoenix Boats Big Bass. Current leader is Ed Lochren, obviously, a 4 pound, 6 ounce fish, that 411. So you took the lead away from him, you took Phoenix Boats Big Bass away from him, and you might not get a Christmas card from Ed Lochren, but I know you're not heartbroken because you're just doing your job.
Me and Ed are friends now because we both rode the same 10-foot wave all the way from the inland sea to make it in.
A fun ride on the way in, I imagine, or is fun maybe not the right adjective?
Yeah, you know, I was just happy to be in that Phoenix powered by Mercury. You know, I made it back safe, didn't tear anything up. Tripp made a good call letting us go fishing today. We've all been out here a long time, and he had faith in us to get back, and that's what we did. So, man, I love New York. I had a great week. I caught all my fish, drop shotting. Caught him on a Zoom Z drop using a 3/8 ounce Titan tungsten weight with 6-pound gamma fluorocarbon and about 30 foot of water.
Davey Height was covering you this morning, and he told me, I mean, you went to work early and often. I mean, this weather didn't seem to affect you, but as the day went on, I mean, it seemed like it was 3 different days worth of weather out there. Did your bite change?
Yeah, it did. You know, the wind direction changed, so the smallmouth obviously set up. You know, the wind drives current here, and when the current changes, obviously they move around and they set up different, and you just got to adjust. But it was kind of weird. It blew hard, then it stopped, then it picked back up, and you could move around a little bit. But you know, all in all, it's all about you know, making the top 10, putting yourself in position, and I did that this week. So love New York, and I can't wait to get back.
Well, I know you're looking forward to getting home to your family, but you need to load our hot seat first. Your tournament leader, Jason Williamson, let him make his way over to the hot seat, and let's bring out a guy who's making back-to-back 10 cuts here in New York. Traveled all the way from Japan. Get loud for Takumi Ito. Takumi Ito had 57 pounds and 5 ounces to start the day. 5 fish to add to that here today. Looking for 19.7. Needs 19 pounds, 7 ounces to take the lead. 16 pounds, 5 ounces with 73.10. Takumi moves into 3rd place currently. Made back-to-back 10 cuts. 2 championship Sunday appearances in a row. And Takumi definitely loves New York. Takumi, first of all, congratulations for 2 Sundays in a row. Unbelievable. Number 1, and number 2, how come it's always so bumpy on Sundays?
Yes, thank you very much. So, many missed today. Many missed. So early morning, hook up, hook off, hook up, hook off. Maybe 3.5 and 4 pounders, 3 fish, 4 fish miss. I'm disappointed. But today, last cast, I caught a 4 pounder. I'm very happy now.
A great way to finish the day. 2 weeks in a row, people could watch you on ESPN too. How cool was that?
ESPN? Yes, so I'm so excited. And many Japanese people watching Bassmaster Live. So many Japanese people excited too. So I'm so happy. So many Japanese people watching Bassmaster now.
We are very thankful for all those amazing Japanese people that are watching. Many of those sponsors that made this possible.
Yes.
Let me hear about them.
Yes. So, and many sponsors and many Japanese people. So appreciated. So supported me. So thank you very much.
Unbelievable. 4 of our anglers in the top 10 have made a back-to-back 10 cuts. And you're one of them. An incredible story. He overcame so much to be here, and we're so happy to have him. But let's go from one international angler to another. He made the top 10 last week as well. From Cavan, Ontario, Canada, Corey Johnston. Corey Johnston had 57 pounds and 6 ounces to start the day, trying to follow up the act his brother put down last week and he became the first Canadian to win an Elite Series event. Corey'd like to become number 2. For the record, he was the first Canadian or first angler to ever chug a beer on the Bassmaster Classic stage. Still a record. 16 pounds, 7 ounces, 73.13. You move into 3rd place, and back-to-back 10 cuts here in New York. I know for you, unless you're holding the trophy at the end of it, it's not a victory, but man, 2 10 cuts in a row, you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really happy with it. I just wanted to come out of New York with 2 top 10s, and you know, we got Lucky and Chris won last week. So I'm just looking forward to getting up to St. Clair, and it's been on fire. And we're gonna have another great tournament. You might see 100 pounds of smallmouth that derby. So I got a lot of people to thank. Power Pole, Mercury, Garmin, LiveScope was awesome out here this week. Looking around at all the boulders, be able to pick the fish off of all those boulders. Ranger, Daiwa, Seagar, Gamakatsu, Spro. So I'm not going to bore you with that, but appreciate everyone, and looking forward to the next one.
Always great to have you here. Congrats on another great finish. Another angler making back-to-back 10 cuts here on the Bassmaster Elite Series from Mississippi. Finally, the Brock has come back to Plattsburgh. Brock Mosley had 57 pounds, 8 ounces to start the day, looking for 19.4. 16.10 moves into third place with 74 pounds and 2 ounces. Brock, unfortunately, you're not going to take this title, but back-to-back 10 cuts, and this officially qualifies you to head south and go home and see that brand new baby. And I know that's an incredible victory, more than an Elite Series victory ever could be.
Yeah, it is. I have a flight home at 8 o'clock in the morning in Cleveland. So I got a long drive ahead of me tonight, but you know, it's been a fun week. It's been a fun 2 weeks, actually. You know, I caught all largemouth last week, St. Lawrence, and this week I caught all but I had 1 largemouth in 4 days. So I just love fishing up here. This is an awesome lake, and you know, these guys catch them every day, especially on lakes like this. And you know, just to make another top 10, you know, I'm really blessed. But like you said, I'm about ready to go home and see my girls and meet my new baby.
That new baby brought you a lot of luck. I mean, a lot of skill this week, these last few weeks.
You know, I caught all my fish this week, all my smallmouth on a new worm from NetBait called a crush worm. It's hand poured. It's super soft. I could not have caught the weight I've caught every day without my Garmin Live Scope. That thing is 100% legit, and it was a huge player for me. You know, using your sonar, traditional sonar, you can actually see how fast that fish is moving on Live Scope rather than just your sonar. So that was a huge part of my deal this week. I caught them all drop shotting, and you know, I had a few missed opportunities, but you know, that's fishing for smallmouth with a little, you know, nose hook. So at the end of the day, it's been a great week, but I'm ready to go home.
Always great to have you here. Congrats, and give that baby a hug from us. Brock Mosley, an incredible couple of weeks here in New York. And Jay Willie, the longer you stay, the more you get paid. Life is good, huh? All right, let's keep them rolling. Look out for this guy, a 3-time Bassmaster winner, a former Bass Nation national champion from Rathdrum, Idaho, the prodigy, Brandon Pollinick. It is incredibly hard to MC with a mask. Let me try that again. From Rathdrum, Idaho, the prodigy, Brandon Pollinick. Needs 18-1 to take the lead. 21 pounds, 6 ounces, 21.6, and with 80 pounds and an ounce, the prodigy pummels them on Championship Sunday. Takes the lead here at the Lake Champlain Bassmaster Elite after making back-to-back New York cuts. Going to weigh that for both big bass. Needs to be better than 4'11". 4'6". That's not going to take for big bass. But with that, we say goodbye to Jay Willie. Let's hear it for him, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, man.
And we say hello to Brandon Pollinick. Wow, what a day. I mean, your entire career have been like a clutch performer. When it is the best times to win, when it is the best times to perform, you always seem to rise to the occasion. And dude, what an afternoon you had on ESPN2. I mean, Matt Dowd, who works for Bass, I mean, he's an incredible computer dude, but doesn't care about bass fishing at all. He told me he could not look away from Bass Live this afternoon. And if you go into the bar next door, TVs were tuned in. It was awesome to watch.
And it was amazing. It was honestly just one of those days that everything worked out. And I kept saying all week, just give me a shot. Just give me a shot, because I looked at the weather and I knew we were going to get that weather that we had during practice. And I had a really good practice. Like, I felt like I could literally drive around, look at my Lake Master charts, and pull up on a spot and catch big ones. And And that weather, I think just the wind this morning helped push those bait up, and it moved a lot of those fish up. Those fish aren't resident fish. Those ones are literally chasing bait around, alewives, perch, they're chasing schools of fish. And I actually moved with them today. I started up and I just worked my way with the wind. And like once I started not seeing them, I would jump to the next place and I'd catch another big one. And I hit one magical school this afternoon that every single boulder I could see on my Mega 360 had a big one on it. And I literally had to just start laughing while I was fighting them because it was that good.
It was literally, you put on a show, but I got to talk to you. I mean, there's a bunch of anglers still to weigh in.
Yep.
But man, you laid a lot on the line.
Yeah.
To get to where you are standing, to get back to your home. Yeah. And we want to welcome you home.
Yeah.
But tell me how much this would mean to you.
Oh, man. Every one of them so special. And it's funny because I feel like I set this goal really early on in my career. I said I want to win one every 3 to 4 years. And it's like I keep going on these 3 to 4 year gaps before I get a shot to win one again. You don't realize how early it is. Like in 2012, that first win was incredible because it was my first one and I just crushed them all 4 days. But I didn't realize how hard it was actually to win because it was only my second year on tour. And now, after being out here for 10 years, like you realize how hard it is, how close and how everything has to come together. I got to say huge thanks to Skeeter and Yamaha because I pushed it way too hard. Like trying to win, I was trying to catch a big largemouth on my glide bait, and coming across that lake was quite sporty. I'm pretty sure I owe my cameraman Jake a chiropractic service.
We got a bunch of anglers left to weigh in here, but an incredible job. I know we just have normally we have the thousands, we have the dozens, but these dozen, they're loud. Make some noise for your new tournament leader, Brandon Pollinick. Wow-wee. Our new leader is one of the greatest smallmouth anglers ever, but this is another dude who shares that title. A two-time Bassmaster winner. Twice he's weighed in over 75 pounds of smallmouth in 3-day derbies. From Minnesota, the amazing fighter man, Seth Fighter. And ironically, he's fishing for largemouth generally this week, a lot of it. 59 pounds even as of this morning, looking for 21-2. 19-14, he moves into second place, 1 pound, 4 ounces short of the overall lead. Another incredible event for Seth Fighter. And what momentum going back to Lake St. Clair where he laid victory just last fall and was on pace to be the first ever angler to crack 100 pounds of smallmouth. But we shut it down. It was a 3-day derby. This one going to be a 4-day tournament on Lake St. Clair. And look at how quick he bear pawed that smallmouth right out of the tank. I mean, if that doesn't show his skill, nothing does. That one weighs 5'1". You take over Phoenix Boats Big Bass for the day. You're leading Phoenix Boats Big Bass for the tournament with a 6'6" from day 2, I believe. And Seth, an incredible tournament you've had here this week.
Yeah, it was a really fun week until the last half an hour. I was waiting for that wind all day, and then about the time we decided to leave, it kicked, and that was not a fun boat ride coming in. I'm missing a couple graphs up front, but
no, really? Is that a joke or like really?
No, dead serious. They're in the bottom of Lake Champlain, about 8 miles that way. If anybody wants to scuba dive them up, there's probably some good waypoints in there.
The crowd just thinned. We had 2 dozen, now we're down to a dozen. I mean, I'm going to go find your graphs afterwards. I'm a little distracted right now.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll work, but
I just want the waypoints. I'm not worried about the graphs.
Okay.
Talk to me about putting yourself once again in a great position.
Yeah, I left it all out there. I did everything I could. Came up a little short, but I fished really clean this week. Last week was a nightmare, and I maybe had one on a top water that would have helped, but I don't. Hard to say. Other than that, I landed every bass I needed to. Came in with a game plan and ran it exactly how I wanted to. Everything worked out. I just You know, one big bite short of it. I think yesterday kind of hurt me.
Not going to get the trophy here this week, but I know you have a trophy that you want to get home to on the way.
Yeah.
Can you give us an update?
Yeah, she's still in there. My wife said she felt better yesterday than she did all last 9 months. So I think it's kind of the calm before the storm. So maybe she can hold her in there for another day and I can get home and be there. That'd be nice.
Great to have you here. I know you're looking forward to St. Clair. Wish you luck, travel home, safe travels home, and wish love to the family, and all goes well.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's hear it for the amazing fighter, man, Seth Fighter. Brandon, that's a big one, huh? Big one. He's twice. If it wasn't for us, he would hold that belt that you want, the 100-pound belt. He'd have it. He might get it in a couple weeks, but he's not getting it this week. But look out for this guy. Made over $1 million, cast in for bass. Had 59 pounds, 2 ounces from Florida, Toby Rieger. Had 59.2. Hooked multiple fish and himself multiple times today. It was very entertaining. Looking for 21 even, 16.2. Moves into 5th place with 75 pounds and 4 ounces. Toby Rieger had double down today. If you haven't seen that very entertaining footage, and I'm looking at your title sponsor, Trailmaster, and I think it's pretty fitting because, dude, this last few weeks, if you talk to the service crew, I mean, his fishing speaks for himself. He's right here. But if you talk to the service crews, you have been the Trailmaster. On an event where we were literally restricted with how many service people can make it here and that sort of thing. Dude, you put your overalls and went to work and helped keep these boats on the water.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what I do. You know, I run Roland Martin's Marine Center down in Clewiston, Florida, so I'm around boats all the time. And, you know, I don't like when my boat doesn't work and when the competitor's boat don't work, you know, hey, we get to it, get it back together and get it back on the water so they can compete and so most of them can beat me.
Well, you did your share of beating here this week.
Yeah, it was, you know, every time I come up here, I made several top 10s, and then usually you get a day like this and I really struggle. And, you know, I love throwing a top water bait, and that's how I caught the big stringer the second day, or the second day when I had 22 pounds and I throw a jerk bait. Today it just was so nasty and gnarly, and we didn't have any sun, and the sun is real important in my opinion when you're throwing a jerk bait. You know, if everything goes right, you know, I do a little bit better. You know, I had 2 on at one time first thing this morning, and I had both of them in my arms, but it was so hectic and it was so windy, I couldn't see. It was, and then I said I at least need to get one of them in the boat because they were both 4-pounders. The one slid out of my arm, and I watched it go back down, but I ended up catching the one, and after that happened, it was a struggle pretty much the rest of the day.
It made incredible TV. I mean, to steal a line from Bob Cobb, the thrill of victory and the agony of angling, and it truly was that.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, it slicked off for about 30 minutes today, and I went through my spook and actually caught another 4-pounder, and I told the camera guy, I said, man, I wish I'd get me another hour of this weather, and, you know, it'd be exciting to see what happens, but it didn't work out. Congratulations to whoever wins. I want to thank Bass, the state of New York, for allowing us to come and all the hard work that Bass did so we could get here. New York, you're doing a great job fighting this, because where I'm from, it's a bad deal, so I applaud the state of New York. I'm glad you have the face mask situation going on. I love New York, and I will be back.
Look forward to seeing you in your original home state of Michigan. Before we bring out another angler, there's a group here that does incredible stuff every week. But the last few weeks they have done something that really didn't even seem like it could happen, and that is they've broadcast bass fishing to the world on the worldwide sports leader. They have stood on looking through a little tiny viewfinder for hours a day, and that is the Bassmaster camera, folks. Give them a round of applause. We can pan that camera. They never get showing. Let's show them right now.
And Dave,
Truly,
I promise you, when we make a decision on whether to go out or not, those guys are always first and foremost, because the anglers, you're driving a boat, you're under a console, and you have some protection. Those guys, man, they are troopers. Last week was tough. Today coming across there was tough. I'm glad you all guys are in safe, and you guys do a heck of a job.
I'm not sure if it's official yet, but I do not believe there was any chumming today, so it was a better Sunday than last Sunday, right? Just get better week after week. Speaking of getting better, let's bring him out from Mount Carmel, Tennessee, a former Bass Pro Shops Bassmaster Open champion. Every day is doomsday for David Mullins. Mullins had 59 pounds, 11 ounces as of this morning, looking for 20 pounds and 7 ounces to take the lead away from Brandon Pollinick. 18-2, he moves into third place with 77-13 and celebrate another incredible finish for David Mullins. Mullins, I know this one, the whole, I mean, let's be honest, I mean, a few years ago, I mean, you hated these little brown fish, and now it seems like you've fallen a little bit in love.
Yeah, I like coming up here. I got to give credit to Corey Johnston. I told you about that this morning. You know, he took me out on Simcoe about 2 or 3 years ago, and I learned more in one day about smallmouth than I knew, you know, all my life. So I owe it to him, you know, for what I catch up here.
Incredible for you to admit that. I mean, you were literally 20 minutes from my house, and if you had to stop by, you would have learned a lot about drinking, but that's okay. There's always next time. How'd you catch him this week?
You know, the first 2 days I was catching them cranking up shallow, you know, around 10 foot, and the third day I wanted to rotate because I didn't catch them until about noon on the second day, so I wanted to rotate some deep stuff early, and I started rotating the deep stuff and, you know, caught 20 pounds. And so today I was like, you know, with that wind, they might bite that crankbait again. And so I started out deep, caught one decent one, went to my crankbait fish, and they were there. And it was just, it was a heartbreaking day, let's put it that way.
I don't want to bring up heartbreak, but I want to talk to you about the feeling this morning. To go out in a tournament so tight, I mean, that had to be exhilarating. No one literally, I mean, first to 10th, I think, was separated by 2 pounds, 12 ounces. And I mean, anybody could have took it today.
Yeah, and you know, the only thing you can ask for is an opportunity to win at the end of the day, and you know, everybody in the top 10 today had that, and you know, it was a great day. We burned a lot of gas in the Phoenix, and we tried to burn out those battle-born lithiums today. We put the trolling motor on high and covered as much water as we could with the crankbait. And like I said, we got the bites. We just couldn't land it. But it's been a great week. Thanks for Bass to having us here. Thanks for the state of New York for letting us be up here, and you know, I'm ready to go to St. Clair.
I'm almost scared to ask this, but we're the Bass family, right? We're open and honest. And did your buddy Gerald Swindle give you any good luck last night? He told me he wished you luck or something.
There is never good luck when Gerald Swindle talks to me. It's always bad luck. In fact, he told me he hoped I break off the first fish of the day, and the second one he hoped jumped off. Well, I jumped off more than one today, so I'm going to leave this one to Gerald, and for his bad luck, he always wishes on me every day.
Well, good friends like that. Let's hear it for David Mullins. A great finish. Comfortable? No. No. We got one more guy, really? One? You're not supposed to be here. But this one is a hammer. He has won twice on the Bassmaster Elite Series. From Newport, New York, Jamie the Hammer Hartman. Brandon, come on up here. We'll get you. At 59 pounds, 12 ounces. He's looking for 20 pounds, 6 ounces. 18 pounds, 9 ounces. And once again, the Prodigy is a Bassmaster Elite Series champion. This is the weirdest thing ever, Brandon, to not hug you or high-five you with a victory. But, man, you've overcome so much to be back here and to get this done. Talk to me.
I'll try to talk. Gosh dang. It's been an interesting couple years, and I just knew, like, this feeling is what I wanted, and it's why I came back. And it's honestly, it makes those boat rides on the way back worth it. And just all the struggles that you go through, the ups and downs, and that's what this sport is all about. It's all about just those decisions, you know, and getting your head right. And I was in a really good place this week. I just enjoyed it. I thoroughly just enjoyed my time here. Even when things didn't feel like they were going right, I just enjoyed it. And today, it was amazing. Like, I thought the wind was going to blow 15, 20 miles an hour all day long. It started blowing in the morning, just enough to push the bait up, and then it calmed off. It almost slicked off where I was fishing, and I was able to move around because I was catching pretty much all of my fish on an X zone, finesse slammer, and a slim slammer. The last couple days, finesse slammer. All right, I gotta give Tiff a hug first.
For those who wondered, that's Braden's girlfriend and dog, Bella. Bella
Not
and
just
Tiffany.
some random
They're
girl.
not breaking any social distancing rules.
No.
They're allowed to
No,
do
we
that.
live together,
They've been
so.
doing it for months.
Yeah.
Sorry, we all have.
So I caught all my fish in 20 to 40 foot this week, drop shotting that finesse slammer from X Zone, switching it between Green Pumpkin, Big Limit, and Goby Crush, and it honestly every day made a difference. The last 2 days they crushed the Green Pumpkin, and that was pretty much what I kept in my hand the whole time. Yesterday I randomly caught one big largemouth on an eco rig, X Zone muscleback fat finesse worm. And then I actually coming back through the gut, I was like, man, I gotta throw my glide bait. And I caught one big largemouth yesterday on my glide bait and cold out. And so it was the last few days have been one of those where every decision worked out. It was incredible.
What is it about that drop shot bait? I mean, if you look at not just you, but
Yeah.
literally millions and millions of fish smallmouth have been caught on that particular bait.
I mean, one of it's the fact that it floats. That makes a huge difference because it gives you a horizontal presentation. The flat bottom and that curved body with the fatter front head, that gives just the right amount of action in that bait where you don't really have to move it a lot. I'm shaking that bait a lot, but I'm not moving it out of the strike zone, and that's what I had to do this week. There were a lot of fish that I would see, and they would go down on the bait, and then they'd come up a little bit, and I'd bring it back up and drop it back down, and you just had to keep it in their face. And then eventually they would hit it. And today seemed like every single one, if I dropped it down and it went down on his face, he ate it. And the spot this afternoon, I know I said it earlier, but when I pulled up there, I had one giant boulder. And some of the people saw it on live today, but I had one giant boulder and I shut down before I got to that boulder. And as I came off pad, my electronics started pinging. And literally I shut down, my boat comes off plane, and I see a dot on my down imaging. I'm like, holy cow, that looks like a giant smallmouth. And I grab I run up, unstrap my rods, and I throw my bait back before I even drop my trolling motor. Boat's drifting away, I drop my trolling motor, and I pick up, and my line's swimming off. And I set the hook, and it goes airborne way back there. And it was it was a 4.5 pounder. And then I just rolled up to that boulder and they were stacked on top of it. And every single boulder on that flat in 28 to 32 foot of water had a 4+ pounder on it. And I think I caught almost every one of them.
It was an amazing show to watch. And Tiffany, I got a job for you. Come on over here if you can. This is all awkward.
I'll take Bella.
Come on, you take Bella, and I got something for you to do. Normally Trip hands this off, but I got a little blue trophy here I'd like you to hand off. And we'll make this official.
Don't drop it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
I don't know if I
the
can still pick one of these
Prodigy
up.
Pumbles them on Championship Sunday. Your 2020 Lake Champlain Bassmaster Elite Series champion, Brandon Pollinick. Your 2020 Lake Champlain Bassmaster Elite Series champion, Brandon Pollinick. Once again, the Prodigy is a Bassmaster Elite Series champion, and tell me how good that feels.
It feels amazing. I mean, these blue trophies do not get old. I told my camera guy Jake today, I was like, man, he said, I don't think you've quit shaking all day long. And I said, well, that's because I've been catching bass all day long, and as long as I'm still shaking, I'm going to keep doing this, because that's what it's all about for me. I might be as old as Rick Clunn standing up here still trying to chase these blue trophies, or I might be done before that, but I mean, as long as I still get that feeling every time I hook a big one, I'm going to keep chasing it. You know, I mean, the money's great, everything's great about it, but it's honestly the feeling of it, of why I do this. And I got to give a huge thank you to Tiffany, because the last 2 weeks, I've probably not been the most friendly to be around. More friendly than I used to be. I used to be really bad about just getting in tournament mode and forgetting that the rest of the world existed. And I've been trying to get better at that. But she honestly keeps the train on the tracks, right? She handles all of the things off the water so that I can focus on the water. And without that, you can't succeed out here without that, being able to know that everything's taken care of off the water.
It truly is a team effort. I want to congratulate all three of you, and I want to welcome you home.
Thank you.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, the 2020 Lake Champlain Bassmaster Elite Series champion, Brandon Pollinick. The Prodigy gets it done and finishes in spot number 1. We started with 85, cut it down to 40, 10 went out today, and now there is one. That one is the 2020 Lake Champlain Bassmaster Elite Series champion, Brandon Pollinick. On behalf of the entire Bassmaster family, we want to congratulate Team Pollinick, and we want to thank each and every one of you for coming out here, helping us make this event what it was, and we truly do love New York. I'd also like to thank the camera guys for acting like wrestlers and cheering for us. That was really cool. Thank you. It's just like WWE. I noticed you didn't do that for the Canadian.